Getting new customers can be very exciting, but if you don't have an onboarding process, it can be very stressful. I'm going to walk you through a simplified outline of what an onboarding process should look like. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you're new to this channel, hit subscribe. We put content like this out every single week. Thanks and enjoy. People don't watch all of my videos. They just want me to tell them what they need to do now. That's really astute. First thing, that's really astute, but it's also a really important thing to know about how you're going to break down the process your people are going to be going through. What do they need to know right then to accomplish what they need to know right then? So let's walk through that really quick and kind of give you some concrete things that what we did to kind of help with us. So step-by-step instructions. If you give someone information that they don't need to know, even on the next step, they will forget it. And then they'll be like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing here. So nail on the head with that one. So the first thing that I would do is figure out what are all the steps that they need to take from setting up their account and then launching ads and then managing their leads, right? Those really are the three things. Setting up their account is one step. Launching the ad, especially if they're going to be launching their own ads, we're going to take the first one, which is setting up their Go High Level and Facebook. That's step one. So if this were me, I would create an SOP. I'd write down a little checklist of everything that I think they'll need. And this is typically what you're going to need. So I'm assuming, do you already have a snapshot set up in Go High Level? If you're trying to get in front of it and so first thing to know is things are going to evolve as you create, right? So that's okay. It's okay to be flexible. It's okay to create something. And then down the road, okay, we need to fix this. We did that a lot with our snapshot. So our Go High Level snapshot, I would have a basic setup in Go High Level. So the opportunities pipeline, you're going to want to set that up. Bare minimum would be new leads, right? Replied is usually, I guess if we're talking bare minimum, you wouldn't necessarily need replied. Booked an open house, right? And whatever next process that they would take. So sent appraisal or whatever it is that you're doing. What are the steps your lead's going to take? Create your opportunity pipeline, right, around those steps. And then once you've created those steps, it'll logically help you create the automations that you're going to need to set up. So when you get a new lead come in, you probably want to send them a text, right? And then you're going to want to, like, how long do you want those texts to go, right? That would be things that you would set up in your snapshot. So how long do you want to follow up with a new lead? Let's just say in your mind, if they never respond, how long do you follow up with them before you just give up, right? That would be how you set up your automation. Replied. So when somebody replies, usually on this one, we'd remove from all workflows so that they weren't getting the new lead text messages. And then we'd send a notification to either you or whoever's managing them, I guess your clients, because they'd be managing them. And then whatever other things that would make sense, like if they booked to come see the house, then send them reminders, right? We would send immediately 2 days before, 1 day before, and 2 hours before their actual appointment. So that way they were just getting enough reminders. And we always put in the address so they knew exactly where to go. If you want to be extra fancy, you can put in a Google map, but you don't have to do that. And then whatever else you feel like is natural in the process of managing someone. So take yourself through that experience. What does it look like when somebody signs up through this ad, if I were that person? And then what are all the steps I would take to get them to close? Set those up and just have a basic snapshot. And then that's a really great starting point because your client, the nice thing about Go High Level is you have a really big, robust tool, right? So you want to make sure and set that and use it as best as you can. And the automated system is probably the best thing about Go High Level. So that would be step one, is get your snapshot. We'll just add it in here. The next step of that is, so that's part of setting up their Go High Level. But when you have a new lead, you need to figure out what are all the things. So you have your agency Go High Level, right? And then they have their sub account that you'll be setting up. So what is everything that needs to be set up? And largely a lot of that's gonna be part of your snapshot. So what we did was, how are they getting notified? Do they want to be notified by text? Do they want to be notified by email when they get a new lead, when that lead responds, right? So that's a really simple thing to ask on that onboarding call. So when you're making your onboarding checklist, that would be one of the things on there. The other thing is calendar. Are they using the Go High Level calendar? If so, make sure that that's set up, right? You want to set it up with the hours that they're willing to do open houses or whatever. And then you will want to connect their Facebook to the UpHex connection as well as the Go High Level connection. So there's two integrations that you'll want to connect doing that. And are you planning on using, I guess part of that question is, are you planning on using your Facebook assets or their page, their ad account? Or are you planning on using your own? We felt like this was the best practice because we wanted to protect our business manager. We didn't put everyone in our business manager. We partnered with them. So you have your business manager ID, right? And you would give them partner access and you would get full access to their page and to their ad account. So that would be things that you would do on the onboarding call. So get access to Facebook ad account and page, so that you could go in and adjust ads if you needed to. If it was slowing down, you could keep an eye on that. If something got disabled, you could go in and be helpful. That's how we usually did it. I mean, whatever else your snapshot requires that you create and Go High Level, that would be the other piece. And then the last one is A2P, and I should put that at the beginning because A2P just takes some time to process, right? So our onboarding protocol is, once we started them with our sales team, and if they decided to become our customer, then we would collect their EIN information and process that, so that by the time we did our onboarding call, A2P was hopefully processed and ready. We really liked on that first call to be a quick win. You don't have to do the same thing we did. It's just our process was, when you get somebody on that onboarding call, you want to set up their account. And then at the very end, the quick win is launching an ad, right? So that's what our process was. Yours does not have to be that way. You can figure out whatever quick win it is that you want to figure out, depending on real estate. So those would be the core things, though, that you would need to set up. After that, lead follow-up and Go High Level account training. You can send videos on this. You can do one-on-one trainings. It's up to you. We sent videos, and then we would follow up with them a little bit later and just make sure everything was going okay. So what do they need to know in that next step after you've set up your snapshot, after you've onboarded them? What is the next step for them? That would be to learn where leads are coming in, how they are getting followed up with in the system, right? Because before we hopped on, you had set up your snapshot. When a new lead comes in, they immediately get a text. It waits however long you want it to wait. It sends them another text, right? All those things. You don't need to walk them through every single nitty-gritty thing about the snapshot that you create and about all the automations. Really, the only ones are, how are they getting followed up with? How do you get notified, right? How to manage the leads in the system. So that's why I said it's really important to set up your snapshot before you get people coming in, before you get onboarding calls, before you get leads coming in, because once those leads start coming in, they need a way other than a spreadsheet, which you're welcome to use, I guess. But the system, the Go High Level system that you're paying for, is a lot better tracking tool than a spreadsheet would be. Show them when a new lead replies This is where you go see the reply, show them where the conversations are. Here's how you reply to them, right? Just simple videos to walk them through how to use the platform. They've probably never seen Go High Level before. You might get a few. We had some that had used it before with other agencies. On your training, just assume that they don't know how to use the platform very well. And then, so basic level, how do you follow with your leads? Here's how to do that, updating the opportunities. This is really important because if you're not updating their leads, so if you've got showed to open house, didn't show to open house, whatever it is, they're not moving leads forward. They're gonna lose track of who's done what stage they're in. And when people do that, they're gonna start blaming you by saying, hey, we don't, like, leads aren't showing up. We don't know what's happening. You need to have a really good idea of what's going on with that lead so that you can actually see how their stats are doing. One of the things that we would run into a lot is people would think their show rates are really low because they're Facebook leads and they're used to warm referrals, right? Warm referrals are very, very different than a Facebook lead is. And they felt like their show rates were low. Well, with Facebook leads, you're gonna have lower show rates. So making sure that people keep their account up to date will help you determine whether their concern is valid or not. I met with a customer a couple of weeks ago and she felt like her show rate was not great. They wanted to get it up. And I was like, there's things we can do to help increase that. But let's first take a look and see where you're at. And when we looked at her show rate, she was at 40% for weight loss, which is actually really, really good. So I helped to sort of remind her like, hey, you're gonna have a lower show rate because it's a Facebook lead. They don't know you. They're coming off the streets. They're not a warm referral. So this stat is not bad, but here's what we can do to try and get it a little bit better. So that's why it's important to manage those leads, is it helps with accountability, helps with creating expectations and keeping track of where their leads are at in the stage, right? Have I talked to this person? All that stuff. So that's really important. Oh, you know what? And I messed this up. I guess I put launching ads into this. I did have a third box, which is launching the ads. So for you, if you're letting them launch their own ads, which is what we did, usually on the first call, so on the onboarding call, we would launch that first ad together. And I would show them, here's like step by step. Okay, when you're ready to launch an ad, here's how you do it. This is our ad library, and just kind of show them around. Let's go into launching an ad. First, you're gonna click on Facebook. You're gonna click on ad library, right? And you're gonna click on whichever ad looks great, right? And we would advise them on which ones to pick. It's gonna be a little bit different with real estate, I imagine. We did chiropractic, we did weight loss, and depending on how your ads look, we would recommend specific offers, especially for our new clients. You really want to start them off on the right foot. Pick your best offer. Pick the one, and if you're not sure what that is yet, I would go to Sam's call on Friday and Jacob's call on Wednesday and just talk to them about the anatomy of what a good offer is, and maybe you're already aware of all of that. Do your best to pick the best one starting out. Because that's where their first impression of you is going to begin. So best foot forward is what we always did. Even if they kind of objected, we were always like, you know what, let's start you off here and then we can change you down the road. That way we know that you're doing okay. This is the one that we think works the best. And then we would tell them after we launched an ad, you're not alone. If you want help in the future launching a new ad, let us know. We can help you. Or here's a video walkthrough, right? We had, I don't know if you have a support channel or anything like that. We had a library of articles, and that's something that you can, down the road, if you don't have it, you can implement. But we had a little article that showed that we would put, or a chat widget that we would put support articles in that were common questions that people would get. And that was just nice because it reduced our support. And it was immediate, what people needed. So anyway, that's a lot of information. Like I said, we could talk about this all day long. I will stop there and see if you have any questions and we can see if anyone else has any questions.